Brandon Aiyuk to the Pittsburgh Steelers? Here we go. Brandon Aiyuk wants to be a Steeler. He wants to play for Mike Tomlin. Or does he? That's the question. Gronk spiked the like button. Maybe Heath Miller spiked the like button. Or George Kittle spiked the like button. Let's discuss Brandon Aiyuk to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The possibility of Aiyuk teaming up with George Pickens, Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, Russell Wilson, the Steeler offense, and the Steelers potentially going all in on this team in 2024. Aiyuk is an elite talent at wide receiver. He is a top 10, top 12 type of receiver in this league, had his best season of his career in 2023, and is no doubt the best receiver on the NFC's best team. He is, absolutely. A lot of people talk about Deebo Samuel, but Brandon Aiyuk is that guy. He is a phenomenal route runner. He is explosive. He can beat you at all three levels, short, intermediate, and deep. He's great with the ball in his hands. He could fit in any offense. He could play inside, outside. He can run the ball. I mean, this guy is a complete receiver talent, which begs the question, why would the 49ers actually trade him? Well, where does this come from? This comes from a tweet. Brandon Aiyuk never tweets, but we must discuss the news. And the news from Brandon Aiyuk is this. He tweeted at Mike Tomlin, at Coach Tomlin, "They sayin' we twins. What you think?" with the eyeball emoji. Are you kidding? This is like earth-shattering crazy news. If this was to the Patriots, I'd be losing my mind. I'm losing my mind to the Steelers, bro. It's not even my team. If I was a Steelers fan, I'd be losing my mind because the Steelers could use another receiver. They traded Deontay Johnson. He was not having it in Pittsburgh, and they were fine getting rid of him. But Aiyuk is a top receiver. Aiyuk would be a massive upgrade from Deontay Johnson and a great 1-2 punch with George Pickens. And hey, I mean, Brandon Aiyuk has a point. They do kind of look like each other. Mike Tomlin and Brandon Aiyuk do kind of look like the same human. Okay, when we're looking at this picture, I see it. Okay, I see it. It's all in the eyes to me. I think it's the eyes. That's what it gives it away to me. Right? I think they are twins, so why not? I think that some Steelers fans want to see Aiyuk in a Steeler uniform to really judge if this is the case, if they really are twins. They would love that, I believe. And this would change the game for the Steelers. This would change the offense. This would make them dynamic, potentially, on the offensive side of the ball and get the most out of Russell Wilson. Potentially Justin Fields for the future. But man, we're talking about Brandon Aiyuk, bro. We're talking about Brandon Aiyuk. Aiyuk is one of the best receivers in the NFL. He really is. People talk about Deebo, this and that. George Kittle, this and that. And McCaffrey is the best running back in football. But Aiyuk is that guy that maybe is not as big of a name as some of those guys, but is so critical to their offense. And you got to wonder, would the Niners actually consider trading him? Would they? Because to me, I wouldn't. If I was the 49ers, I wouldn't. I'd rather trade George Kittle. I'd rather trade Deebo Samuel than Brandon Aiyuk. I really would. Given his age, given his productivity, given how well he's played most recently, given the future of this franchise, I would rather trade. And so, as someone that really is kind of like a Niners fan, I mean, they're really like my NFC team. You guys know that. This would suck for the 49ers, no matter what they got in return. First round pick this year, you know, a receiver along with it, which is apparently what they were trying to get from Jacksonville. If there's any truth to that report, that it was, I believe, the 17th overall pick from Jacksonville and Zay Jones, another receiver for Brandon Aiyuk. I understand that you have to pay Brandon Aiyuk, but guys, this guy just had 75 catches, 1,342 yards, and 7 touchdowns this year. That is a 17.9 yards per reception. He was one of the NFL's leaders in yards per route run. He was a second-team All-Pro. He is 26 years old. Literally 2 days ago. It was his birthday 2 days ago. So he's 26 in his prime. He's had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. And he didn't even play all 17 games this year. He very well could have had 1,400 yards. Probably would have had 1,400 yards. This is a really good player. His catch percentage, 71.4%, despite having 1,342 yards and being a yards per reception player at 17.9. You know how hard that is to do? To catch 75 of 105 targets? That means the guy's open. He's separating. He's getting away from coverage. And I understand other players in this offense dictate coverage, but Aiyuk is their best receiver that could be transferable to all different offenses. Play inside, outside, run deep, run underneath. Like, this guy could fit in every offense and be a good player. You know, maybe Shanahan's system is the best, but this is a real dog I'm talking about here. I don't think people realize how good Brandon Aiyuk is. So, I mean, if I was the Niners, I wouldn't do this. I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to trade Brandon Aiyuk. I don't believe it. I think what this is, this tweet, this propaganda, this making us, nervous, is all about him getting a new contract from San Francisco. I think it is a marketing move. I think it's a ploy. I think it's a move by Brandon Aiyuk and his team and his agent to push the buttons of the 49ers and get the best possible deal from San Francisco possible. Because Aiyuk is out there saying, hey, someone come get me. That's what he's saying. It doesn't necessarily mean the Steelers are at the top of mind, or the Steelers are even a team that would trade for Brandon Aiyuk, although it would be exciting and it would make sense. They're a team that tried to get Mike Williams or was going to host Mike Williams. They couldn't because the Jets signed him, didn't even let him out of their building. So Mike Williams off the board. Does this make it even more enticing and interesting that, hey, Brandon Aiyuk could come to the Steelers now that Mike Williams is gone? That's another thing that you have to discuss and think about. But, like, Brandon Aiyuk is probably just trying to make the Niners jealous. He's probably just trying to poke the bear. He's just probably trying to get the Niners to, like, cough up the money. Like, pay me, or else I'm gone. I'm willing to leave. At least that's what he's saying in this tweet. But it was a funny joke, Brandon Aiyuk. I see you, buddy. And I hope he stays a 49er. Personally, I think that's his home. I think that's where he should be. And I think Niners fans should hope he stays. I think the Niners should work it out, especially for this year. But, man, that would be a crazy move. The Steelers would instantly become a pretty interesting team in the AFC. Like, I think they're currently a little flawed in the back end of their defense and at wide receiver. The offensive line could use maybe a center. But there aren't many places on their team where you look at them and say, hey, they could use this, they could use that. Getting a big-time receiver would solve a lot. It'd make them a lot more explosive. Having a really good defense with an offense that can create chunk plays with Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson's a chunk play quarterback, that would make them fascinating. So this would be big. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching. It's Mitch of The Bottom Line View. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.